Hello and welcome to Canvas, the Niger-Delta Roundtable, where I discuss the future of this region blessed with humongous hydrocarbon resources. Every week we give time to reflecting on topics relevant to the development of the Niger-Delta and her people. This episode is not different, as we're here once again to focus on how to take the Niger-Delta region to a more promising future. We remind them the program is sponsored by the operator of the NNPC SPDC, Total Energies Achib joint venture, Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited, headquartered in Port Harcourt. Thank you for joining us. Adedayo Ilushaki. For today's edition of Canvas, our topic is AllOn powering on the Niger-Delta. That's AllOn powering on the Niger-Delta. In this episode, we celebrate a remarkable milestone in the Oweikorogha community of Bayelsa State. On October 4, 2024, the community witnessed the commissioning of a new 80 kilowatt solar mini-grid developed by Ceesolar Energy Limited and sponsored by AllOn through the Niger-Delta Electrification Program. Now, Shell established AllOn in 2016 as an independent Nigerian non-profit organization as a unique impact investor dedicated to off-grid energy market. Now, this, speaking of the project, innovative project is set to provide reliable and sustainable electricity to approximately 2,000 people, bridging the energy gap in underserved and unserved areas. Join us as we explore how this solar mini-grid with its 60 kilowatt inverter system and 120 kilowatt energy storage will benefit 430 new connections, including residential households, commercial enterprises, micro-industrial facilities, and public institutions. Not only does this project power the community, but it also significantly reduces carbon dioxide emissions, contributing to a greener and more sustainable environment. Stay tuned as we delve into the details of this transformative initiative and hear from the people whose lives are beginning and being positively impacted. Again, today the topic on Canvas is AllOn, powering on the Niger-Delta, and my guests are Deborah Nwobodo and Chief Wayas. Deborah Nwobodo is a professional with a strong project management and business development background. She is project engineer, Ceesolar Energy Limited. Deborah, hello to you. Welcome to Canvas and Niger-Delta Roundtable.
Thank you so much for having me.
My other guest is Chief Wayas. He's a seasoned environmental scientist with over a decade's experience. He is a speaker of the Council of Chiefs in the Oweikorogha community, part of the Tarakari clan in the southern Ijo local government area of Bayelsa State. Chief Wayas D. Waya, welcome to Canvas and Niger-Delta Roundtable.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us as well. And we get to the crux of our conversation right now. Chief Wayas, I'll start with you. Now, how are the people of Oweikorogha community, how are they doing right now? And what was life like in your community before this project?
Thank you so much. In fact, Oweikorogha was in darkness. So when first these solar people came to us that they want to install power, we are surprised. Most especially myself, it seems most strange to me, like the memory of a dream. Not until they establish and empower the lights in the Oweikorogha community, where everybody is happy and we are enjoying life.
Prior to this, as you say, when the solar people came, before they came, have you ever had light in Oweikorogha?
No, we are in darkness. And all sorts of rubbish were going on here and there. Like stealing, doing this and that, was rampant in the community. But now that they come to install the solar day and night, those things are less and removed in the community.
And how the people of the community, how do they feel about? But the day that the lights came on, the day that the project was launched and the power came on, what was the mood like in the community that day?
The whole community was groovy, happy and happier. That life, because light is life. So the whole Oweikorogha community was happy indeed, and happier on that very day when the light came up. It was surprising to everybody.
When they first came, when they first approached you and the rest of the Council of Chiefs and told you about this project, did you believe it? What did you think was happening?
It's what I've said already. I said, we don't believe that actually this will come to be. That's why I said, it seems to me like the memory of a dream. That now that the light has been installed in the Oweikorogha community, Karakirik Land, Southern Niger local government area, in fact, we are so happy. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, we are happy and happier indeed. Thank you.
We'll come back to your community and what's going on there in a moment. But I must turn to Deborah now. Deborah, once again, is representing Ceesolar Energy. Before we get into the project proper, Deborah, tell us about Ceesolar Energy Limited and what is your connection to AllOn?
Ceesolar Energy Limited is an indigenous renewable energy company developed the Oweikorogha mini-grid projects funded by AllOn through the Niger-Delta electrification program.
Before this project, what has Ceesolar been about? What does Ceesolar do generally?
Yeah, Ceesolar, we are into installations of solar system, both consultancy and energy system, and also advisory.
All right. So how did Ceesolar come in contact with AllOn?
Okay, we heard about the Niger-Delta program. Then we actually applied for it with so much deliberation and application going through the process, and we actually got the it was already given to us, and we got the project.
All right. So
many applications.
All right. So you went through a process,
Yes,
and then you won the project from AllOn. So AllOn sponsored all of this from start to finish.
Yes, AllOn sponsored it.
Okay, now let's come to the specifics now. Can you tell us more about the Oweikorogha solar mini project and its significance to the community?
Okay, the Oweikorogha, that's the 80 kilowatt mini grid projects which enhance energy access for approximately 2,000 residentials and also powering, giving electricity to about 430 connection, both residential and businesses in the community.
Okay. Now, what exactly did this project entail, really? When you say something kilowatts and this and that, and what makes up that project? What was installed? What was done to make it happen?
Okay, the project is 80 kilowatt peak, 60 kilowatt inverter, and about 120 kilowatt hour energy storage system that was installed in the community there, and being able to power about 2,000 residential. So that's actually the key features there in the mini grid.
Okay, now I understand what you're describing with these figures, this kilowatt, that kilowatt. You're describing what I would term the finished product. So after we've assembled it and assembled this, the outcome is this.
Yeah.
What I want to know is this: what went into that, into producing this outcome? What did you put together? What are the components that were assembled that led to this finished product?
Okay, the components that were assembled the 80 kilowatt peak, the solar panels that were assembled together.
How many solar panels?
Okay.
If you don't have those figures exactly, fine.
I don't have the exact figure of how many panels, but we have about 60 kilowatt inverter. That's about 12 inverters there. That's a Victron inverter for about 5 kilowatts, 12 of them. That makes it 60. And we have about 120 kilowatts energy storage system. That means Jinko battery. We assembled together about 10 of them.
You were part of this project, am I right?
Yes,
you
I
were
am.
on the field implementing this project.
Yes, I am.
Now, from your experience as part of the project, how significant do you think the project is for the people of Oweikorogha community?
Okay. The projects contribute to reducing carbon dioxide emission and also being able to replace fossil fuel diesel system in the community.
Mm.
So the project is beginning to close energy gap
Okay.
between in that rural community so that they are able to have light that they've not seen for a very long time.
I'm curious to find out as well. I mean, in the Niger-Delta here, as well as some other parts of the country, there are other communities as well that are underserved or aren't even served at all. Why was Oweikorogha community selected?
Okay, Oweikorogha community was selected because of their productivity and also what they were doing in the community.
Mm.
And it led us to that this place was productive for us to bring the mini grid over there. And also, these people have not had light for a very long period of time. And we noticed that in that community, there is a community before you get to Oweikorogha community, Ayama community, those people have light. But Oweikorogha, in a long time, they've not had light. And also looking at this, these people have been suffering from light for a very long time. And we know that there's no way the generation or there's no way power supply is going to come to them.
When you say that you found they were productive, what do you mean productive? How?
Okay, productive in
Because, and I ask, pardon me, and I'm asking because I mean, sometimes it's hard to imagine productivity in a place that does not have power. So when you say that even without power or without light, as we call it here, that they were productive how?
Okay, they were productive in the sense like businesses were still going on around there.
Okay.
Like we can see also men were using the cassava milling machine there, and also tailors were still doing their businesses over there. So it was something that was really productive, and also Ceesolar want to come in to make it more better for them.
Okay. What were the main challenges encountered during the development and implementation of this project?
Okay, during the development and implementation, there were so many challenges because during when the project was ongoing, we faced so many challenges, but we overcome them because we are Ceesolar and that's what we do. And let us see that the challenges so far were logistics and also weather condition. Logistics in the essence, like that community, there's a riverine, and also transporting those equipment down to the community was actually a big one. Because if you're not careful, those equipment can fall inside the water. So it was actually a huge challenge for us, but we were able to maneuver and let us see that we were able to bring those equipment to the community. And also in the other aspects of weather condition, yeah, there are times that when we're working that day, that means it's going to rain heavily.
Mm.
It was going to rain heavily. So for that day, there was nothing to be done. But we were able to close the gap and able to finish the work at a particular time that we actually projected it to be.
Now, I asked you earlier, I know I asked you this question earlier, but I'd like you to elaborate on it somewhat. What was AllOn's contribution to this project? And what role specifically did Ceesolar play? Well, I'd like to, you've also explained Ceesolar's role in some detail. I'd like for you in more detail to explain AllOn's contribution to this project.
Okay, AllOn contributed financial support and strategic oversight, and Ceesolar managed the technical implementation of the project. So that's actually the main thing about AllOn. AllOn contributed its finances for the project and also being able to put us through strategic oversight, be able to put us through how it's going to be, and also we Ceesolar, what we did was actually carried out the project in the technical.
So AllOn paid for it, and AllOn provided what you call strategic oversight. What does strategic oversight imply? Okay,
strategic oversight meaning they were able to, when the project is going on, giving us their own advice on how it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to go, and how they want it to be at that particular time. I'll take, for example, the installation processes when it was actually ongoing. One of the AllOn member came to site to look at what we've done and also tell us, okay, this and this needs to be in place and all of that. So that was part of the strategic oversight.
All right, Chief Wayas, welcome again, sir.
Thank you.
I'm back to you.
Yeah.
And I know before we started recording, I asked you earlier on, and you gave me a tutorial on how to pronounce Oweikorogha community. And you interestingly, you told me what it means. I'm going to ask you that question again. What does Oweikorogha mean?
Oweikorogha meaning a man does not fall.
A man does not fall.
Fall in the Oweikorogha community. In terms of wrestling, we are very, very strong community. Even during the intertribal wars, as small the community was, you cannot defeat us. Even bigger communities cannot defeat us. So it's called Oweikorogha community. It was formerly known as Obulu community.
Okay.
It was formerly known as Obulu community.
I asked Deborah a while ago why Oweikorogha community was selected for this project. And she used the word, she said that your people, the community members, were productive. And that's interesting because when you find a place where there's no power, there's no light, that can be an excuse for people to not do anything. But even though there was no power for years or for forever, and there was no light, but your people were still productive. And I think that's a testament to that name. They did not fall, even though there was no light. They kept wrestling, they kept walking, they kept being productive.
Yes. Yes. We are very, very productive, even without the solar light. When we are in darkness too, cassava mills, up to 5 areas. In fact, we are very good in farming. So we don't lose hope. We don't at all tired. And we are strangers loving community. Very, very unity. We love strangers.
Now, since the implementation of this project, the commission of this solar mini grid, how has daily life changed for the people of Oweikorogha community?
Oh, my bros, actually the lives of Oweikorogha is totally changed. He will bring light, bring life. So when this light came into Oweikorogha, in fact, the whole community has changed. Businesses, anything you can talk of. It encourages us more and more to struggle and do things. So Oweikorogha community, in fact, we are happy and happier.
Some of those productive activities that you were engaged in, how has the light situation now, the power you have now, how has it changed or impacted or affected those activities?
One, without the light, only the daytimes, we mill, cook, and do gari, etc. But now, if you go to Oweikorogha, even the midnight, people mill gari, they cook gari, did all sorts of things. So it empowers us very well, more and more.
So people of Oweikorogha, they're not sleeping anymore. Is that a good thing?
No, we are sleeping, but those people that has problem, in fact, that they will mill gari, they use the night to mill gari. In the daytime, they go to their farms. Maybe they will sleep only a few hours. It has empowered them.
I'm sure that generally speaking, almost everyone, if not everyone in your community has been affected or impacted one way or another by this project. But can you share one story in particular that you know, maybe yourself or somebody else in your community, a testimonial, an interesting story of somebody in particular of how this power situation or this light situation, this project has remarkably transformed their life?
Really, almost everybody. One, as I have mentioned, the rate of stealing.
No, Chief, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. The rate of stealing is minimized. One. Two, the rate of production of gari, stash, and other things are increased. Three, students read in the night more than when we were in darkness, because the light comes every day around night.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I know that there's no way everybody in the community has not been affected positively. In fact, that is a given. But you must know of one particular interesting story. And as a chief and elder that you are in the community, I'm sure you are in the business of telling stories. So tell us one story in particular. Just pick one out of the many stories from your community.
The most important story I can talk of is Oweikorogha, most especially the women, said they are rich now. They are rich, being empowered by the solar light. And we are even productive.
Okay, all right, Deborah, I have a question for you. Now, moving over to you. What are some of the, and I know you touched on this before, but I want to ask it with respect to something else. Some of the key technical features of this project, and how do they ensure reliable power supply? Because reliability is one of the problems. In fact, it's a major challenge we have, not just in the Niger-Delta, but even throughout the entire nation. I mean, forget the fact that we can do better with our power infrastructure, but even when power is available and supplied, as it is, even with other parts of the Niger-Delta here, reliability has been a major challenge. So what are the key features of this project that would not just ensure that they have power now, as is the case, but that the power is reliable and the supply is reliable?
Okay, thank you. The key features, I actually explained it earlier, but I'll just break it down in more details. So the key features we have there in the mini grid, it includes the 8 kilowatt peak panel, about 146 panel on site. And also we have about 60 kilowatt inverter. As we have about 12 inverters on site, different inverter. And we also have about 120 kilowatt hour. That means 24 energy battery system. Then 120 kilowatt energy battery system. So we have about 24 battery on site, being able to give this community consistent power supply there. And also the energy battery system is actually to help them make use of power even after low sunlight during night, because the energy, the battery system is actually for them to be able to, sorry please, the energy system is for them to be able to use power during, maybe after the day, when, okay, because they are taking directly from sunlight. So the energy system is actually for them to use only at night and when there is low sunlight to power the community.
How does the storage system work, really? I know this is all technical and all that, but but just help break it down as best as you can without all the technical jargon. How does the storage system work to ensure that even when at night, like you say, or there's low sunlight, power supply is still constant and reliable?
Okay, so the storage system actually allows for energy use, just like I said earlier, during sunlight period, low sunlight period, and at night, because we know that the components during the panel and also the inverter is just to the panel generates from the sunlight, and also the inverter changes. Sorry, I'm using technical terms.
Oh, that's fine. Please go on. I mean, I'm fascinated, really.
All right, changes DC to AC current actually, and also charges the battery alongside. So that's why we have the battery there to power the community when there is no sunlight, and also to give them economic opportunities. When I say economic opportunities, let me just bring it down. That means economic activities and also a quality life.
But I know that this is real. It's happening. Even if I've not been to Oweikorogha community myself, I mean, Chief Wayas is here. He's testifying to the situation over there. But it's for a lay person, a non-technical person, a person who is not an engineer like you, like myself, who is not an engineer. We find it hard to comprehend the concept of batteries. I mean, if you're storing power in the battery or in batteries for maybe a household, or for one person to power a radio system, because you actually have batteries that can power radio systems or even TVs or whatever it is. But for a whole community, and you're talking about batteries here. You're not talking generators, you're not talking transformers, you're talking batteries. Can batteries actually store enough power for a whole community? You're talking about 2,000 residents, several businesses, households, public institutions. That's possible?
Yes, it's possible. Very possible. During the night, this is the orientation we give to them. You don't use your large appliances because during the day, that's why we tell the business people use the power during the day. And we have about that energy, the 120 kilowatt energy storage to power both the residential and the business area.
Mm.
Because when they don't, when it comes to battery, yes, it's how long it's going to last depending on what's been plugged or what's being used at that particular time.
Mm.
So, and during the night, we tell them, okay, this and this is the appliance that will be able to power you guys for a longer time. And those batteries are lithium-ion batteries.
Okay.
So it has a long lifespan.
So technically speaking, if we can power a community with about 2,000 residents, we can power with batteries with similar system using the same technology. We can power even larger communities. Am I right?
Yes, we can.
Mm.
Yes, we can.
Now you're talking about advising the community members and the business areas to only work during the day. But Chief Wayas was saying a while ago that they don't sleep well at night again. They're working almost 24 hours. Am I right, Chief?
You are right.
It's a gradual process.
Okay.
Because this is their way of life.
Mm.
This is how they do things. So it's a gradual process. Yes, the rotation is not just once, it's continuous.
Mm.
So over and over again, we tell them this so that the power will be able to last for a longer time at night for them.
But so far, it's still lasting, right?
Yes.
Even though we're not sleeping again, Chief. The power is still lasting.
It doesn't mean we don't sleep at all, but we occupy more in the night.
Yeah.
For this working, then the fridges, most especially the day, are empowered. Cool mineral, cool beers, anything is not our problem again. Cool water,
Yeah.
not our problem again. So actually, Oweikorogha community is enjoying the life.
Chief, you sound like the way you said, like you like cold beer. It is Converse, the Niger-Delta Roundtable for this, brought to you by SPDC. For this edition, we're discussing AllOn, powering on the Niger-Delta. We discussed the remarkable project in Oweikorogha community, executed by Ceesolar Energy Limited, sponsored by AllOn. We go for a break, we'll return shortly. Conversation will continue. Please stay with us.
Yellow and black markers indicate pipeline and flow line right-of-way boundaries. Your activity could impact on the buried high-pressure hydrocarbon pipelines and flow lines, leading to possible leaks and explosion. Please keep off. Do not engage in sand mining or any form of excavation, pipeline vandalism, oil theft, and bush burning within pipeline and flow line right-of-way. Do not farm, trade, or locate any business on pipeline and flow line right-of-way. It is against the law to apportion land, sell, or build on pipeline and flow line right-of-way. Maintain a setback distance of at least 30 meters or about 100 feet from the right-of-way boundaries always. We care for your safety and that of the environment.
This message is brought to you by the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited, SPDC, operator of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, Total Energies, and Ajib Joint Venture.
Welcome back. Still Converse, the Niger-Delta Roundtable, brought to you by SPDC. I'm Dai. Reminder, today's topic is AllOn, powering on the Niger-Delta. And I've got my guest in the studio here, representing Oweikorogha community in Bayelsa State, Chief Wayas. Chief, you're welcome again.
Thank you.
And representing Ceesolar Energy Limited, the executioners of this project, sponsored by AllOn, is Deborah Nwobodo. Deborah, welcome also.
Thank you.
So I'll start with you now, Deborah. You mentioned in the first half of this conversation that one of the benefits of this project, it's reduced carbon dioxide emissions and some other, such things. So how does this mini grid contribute to reducing carbon dioxide emissions and promoting environmental sustainability?
Okay. The Oweikorogha solar mini grid projects contribute to reducing carbon dioxide emission by
Yeah.
replacing fuel-based generators.
Okay.
So improving the lifestyles to fuel-based energy source generators with clean solar power. That's what's the mini grid, and also improving economic sustainability. Because when it comes to the fuel-based generator, is harmful to the system, that's human system, and also we are providing the mini grid to providing the mini grid for clean power. Let me rephrase my word. We're providing the mini grid to give clean power to the community. That it's not harmful to the system, harmful to the community.
Time out, please. All right, Deborah, back to you. Still with you. When you mentioned, when you say you don't employ field-based generators, what does that mean exactly?
Fossil fuel based. Okay. Yeah.
That's still.
Okay, fossil fuel based energy sources. Those are generators. And also we know how the climate change now as it is, the weather hot, and it's based on so many fossil fuel.
No, my
Okay.
question primarily is
Okay.
when you say fossil fuel generators, what do you mean by fossil fuels?
Now, fossil fuel generators, that means systems, systems that are harmful to human and also to the earth.
What are these fossil fuels?
Okay, they are generators. Also, that means petrol generators, and the petrol generators, diesel generators. These are harmful to human system.
Okay, now Chief Wayas, back to you. What economic opportunities or what new economic opportunities has this project presented to members of Oweikorogha community? I'd like to remind you again or reference again that earlier, as Deborah mentioned, even before the project, Oweikorogha community people were very hardworking. You were milling your gari, you were doing all that anyways. And since this project has come on board, what new economic opportunities has it provided?
Thank you. The new opportunity it has provided for the community is one, it has helped training boys, 2 or 3 boys, to work there in the Ceesolar system.
Okay.
2, it has increased and provided more machineries to Oweikorogha community, to the people of Oweikorogha community, to aid their processing ability. 3, in fact, students read more because of the light, the presence of the light in the night too. They read more. Before this time, the night, you want students rushing to read like this. But when you go now to the various houses, you see that students read more at the first time. So those are benefits to the Oweikorogha community.
Okay, so if I may do a recap of what you said, so more machinery means that businesses are expanding and growing.
Yes.
Some of your youths have learned the solar business, how it works.
Yes.
The technical aspects. They're working for Ceesolar now even.
Yes.
And who knows, they might even start their own tomorrow. And then academic excellence is improving now.
Yes.
As your students, your children are studying more. And they can study at night as well.
Yes.
For exams. And to improve their knowledge anyway.
Really?
Well, that's fantastic. Deborah, back to you. Even though you gave a list of the numbers that are being served before, once remind me please, about 2,000 residents How many connections?
We have about 430 connections.
430 connections. Any community, one of the characteristics of living things is growth, both in size and in number. So we expect that in the coming months, in the coming years, Oweikorogha community will grow. The power needs also will grow as well. So that said, what are the plans for maintaining and expanding the mini grid to ensure long-term sustainability?
Okay, there are actually plans in place to maintain the mini grid for reliability to be able to sustain. Okay, there are actually plans in place to maintain the mini grid for reliability to actually sustain the community and also for the ongoing maintenance actually in place. Looking at the panels there, which we'll try to, not that we'll try, we are going to have them in good conditions. And one thing about solar panel, with time, you see dust and so many things on the solar panel. So that's why we have local operators on site being able to clean these panels, to be able to generate more electricity to serve the community. That's the maintenance in place, and also the inverters and the battery. And also for the ongoing, and for the what do you call it again, for ongoing let me get the word.
Expansion.
Ongoing expansion, yes, is actually in place because yes, when there's light in the community, people buy much more equipment, people buy much more things to serve them or to make use of in our community. Yes, there's much more plans in place to expand the system, being able to bring much more panels and inverter, because we know in the long run people will get much more things. That's one thing, because we actually have that as an example with one of our mini grid, that most people now start getting the electrical appliances, and now we have to now expand the system because of that. So it's
Because I'm sure that the good people of Oweikorogha community right now will start thinking of getting 50-inch flat screen TVs
Yes,
to watch Arsenal play.
very well.
Only Arsenal. Only Arsenal, Chief. All right. You must not watch Chelsea.
what about mine?
Not even Man U. Only Arsenal. All right. So, still with you, Deborah. Are there any upcoming projects or initiatives by AllOn and Ceesolar Energy to further support or implement energy access in the Niger-Delta? You mentioned the Niger-Delta electrification project by AllOn, which is the one Ceesolar came on board for this project. Any future plans to expand that within the Niger-Delta?
Yes, there are future plans. AllOn is committed, and Ceesolar is still going to partner with them to execute the initiative.
You sound happy about that.
Yeah, very, very happy.
Okay.
So yes, AllOn is committed. Yeah, and also we are actually going to partner to actually execute the same project in that community, because that's why we're here.
All right. Do you have any other such communities lined up already?
Yes, we have. We have other communities in place. I'm not able to mention names now. We have other communities in place that we've been able to make application for the second program to AllOn.
Why can't you mention any communities, any names right now?
Okay.
No, if you can't,
Yeah.
that's fine. But I have to ask. Why can't you mention any
Okay,
names
it's
now?
not a big deal why I can't mention.
Okay.
Yes, the community, I may not be able to get the name now because it's not coming to my head right now.
Okay.
But we actually made application for one other community.
All right. What kind of support and collaboration did you receive from local authorities and other stakeholders in implementing this project?
Okay, we actually got support from the community, being able to assist us in the development of the project. I can remember vividly when we were bringing in the panels, the equipment, they were all there. That's the youths of the community. They were all there to assist us in carrying all of this equipment to our sites and being able to, they were also available to be able to put things in place in the installation aspect. So we got a lot of support from them.
Now, Chief, Deborah said that they got support from your community when they arrived to implement the project. And what we hear many times in Niger-Delta community is whenever there is an initiative to provide power or provide some kind of intervention program, what we hear is that many times people block the road, they block the access to the place, and they say, no, you must give us money first, or you must pay us first, or you must pay matching grant, bush entry, before you can even give us light, or give us water, or give us healthcare. Did the people of Oweikorogha do that? And if they didn't, why didn't they do that?
Thank you so much. We are grateful to God. The Council of Chiefs and the whole Oweikorogha community unanimously proclaimed the community that we should be very, very peaceful with these people, help carrying the various particulars or equipment to their sites, and moreover, cutting of grasses, molding of cement. Oweikorogha community helped them, because I've told you once, Oweikorogha is a peace-loving community. And that church project is coming to Oweikorogha community freely. Was so happy to Oweikorogha community. And we did that to them. We worked unanimously with them, friendly with them, and so forth.
In what other way did the community take part in the planning and execution of the project?
The planning and execution of the project. As they came, they now first make a committee. They selected people. I was a member to the committee. We arrange. If they tell us, how do we do? We now contribute facts together to build up this project to its being. So Oweikorogha, since we are a peace-loving community, we did that with them. Then we also tell them, do not block anybody. If I see you, if we see you, the Council of Chiefs see you trying to block them or do anything, we get measures with you. The community was proclaimed. And no youth, no person interrogated them. They did the work freely.
Can you attest to that?
Yeah.
Yes, I can attest to that.
Okay. And Chief, also, beyond what you have said, did any person in your community actively take part in the project, in the actual work itself? Were members of your community involved in the work itself of setting up the panels, the batteries, connecting the wires and all of that?
And about connection of the wires is left with them.
Okay.
But to carry battery from their workshop to the site, Oweikorogha boys were ready to help. To mold cement, Oweikorogha boys were ready. To carry panel and any other thing, Oweikorogha boys were very ready. Even the poles, Oweikorogha boys combined and carried these poles to their site and to the various areas they are positioned.
And I'm sure that while Oweikorogha boys were doing all this, I'm sure Oweikorogha women were playing their own part as well. What did the women do?
Oweikorogha women, they were so happy. In case of weeding any area that there is grasses, if they are told, they did it. With perhaps mineral or any little token.
And I'm sure they must have provided some gari as well. with some native soup. with bushmeat. Deborah, back to you. So how does this project fit into the overall or broader grand design or goals of the Niger-Delta electrification program? Because this sounds like a huge project, and I suspect that there are different components or stages or sides to it. How does this one fit into the grand scheme?
Okay, thank you very much. This project aligns with the Niger-Delta education program goals of addressing energy gap in underserved areas. Am I doing it?
Go ahead.
Okay. So these projects align with Niger-Delta electrification program goals of addressing energy gap in underserved areas, showcasing how renewable energy can drive economic growth and improve livelihood. So yes, it actually did that in the community.
Okay. And like I said, like you've said as well, this is part of a bigger design. Do you know? I know AllOn is the one powering this, but do you know what stage we are in this grand project at the moment?
You mean the second stage?
No, I mean the grand design, the grand project itself was designed by AllOn. Do you know what stage we are now? Okay, you probably don't. You probably need to speak to an AllOn person about that. I know we have plans to have an AllOn person on the podcast at some point. We can speak to this into more detail. Let me ask you this still. What lessons have been learned from this project that can be applied to similar initiatives in other communities?
Okay, we've actually learned a lot from the projects. The importance of community involvement. When carrying out the projects, be able to involve the community every step of the way, because yes, they are the one we are serving, and also being able to tell them, okay, this is how it is. But when it comes to bringing a project to the community, you have to do community engagement. So we learned that a lot. Being able to engage the community, that's the community chief, about the involvement of the project. And also what we've learned so far is also project implementation. How we're able to implement at each stage the planning and also the execution of the projects. So how it was done. I can say an example. Yes, Ceesolar was sustainable, trying to bring granite to the community. So it's actually a huge one, because carrying granite, boats going from the river down to
Everything was transported via water.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything was transported via water to the pole. So actually, those are the key lessons. Being able to think through.
No. You didn't finish that example. Transporting granite. So go ahead.
Okay.
What happened with it?
Okay, transporting granite to the community, being able to carry from the other community, that's my community, and being able to, okay, this, how do we go about it? Granite is something that is very heavy, and you don't put so much in the boats, being able to transport them to the community. So key lessons we've learned, like strategic, putting things in place.
How did you deal with that specific challenge of transporting granite, via the waterway from where you were sourcing it to where you needed it via the waterway? How did you solve that problem?
Okay, how we solved that problem was able to put someone in charge. That means the person will get it from, okay, we pay him and to bring it to us, that community. So that's how we were able to manage that. So the risks was not really so much enough, because we've transferred. That is the word transferred. Yes, we've transferred the risks to that person and not to bring it to us.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you that question again. I need a different response from you. You can't talk about transferring risk. You learned nothing from that. You can talk about collaboration.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes. I think that's a better way to do it. Collaboration, not transferring of risk. What that means is that it's not our problem again. Maybe it's somebody else's problem. That's what it means, actually. That's what it means. Yeah. So you can speak to collaboration and all of that. So, okay. So, are we good?
Yes. Okay.
All right. So the specific problem of transporting the granite, how did you deal with that?
Okay. How we dealt with that was being able to. That means we're able to give a contractor, collaborating with them to be able to transport it down to the community for us. So that's how we're able to manage that and able to bring down those granites to the community.
Now, the collaboration include consulting with members of Oweikorogha community as well, because they transport things to their community anyway, so that they know how best to do that. Did it include that as well?
Yes, it's actually because we used their boats.
Okay.
We use their boats. So since it's something they are they do every time, being able to transport things down to their community. So we're able to liaise with them and also with the contractors together to transport these things.
And I guess, like you mentioned a while ago, community engagement was key to that as well. Because if you had not engaged the community, they will just keep looking at you while you're failing and flailing all over the place.
So yes, it was actually a key thing for us. And that's one thing about projects. You have to be able to communicate to the stakeholders. For the stakeholders, they are also communicated as the community too, because they are part of our customers. So we're able to have that engagement with them, able to tell them, okay, this and this, how do we go about it? Able to tell them, okay, we're transporting this to the community. But it's very key. Actually, it is very key when it comes to implementation of projects.
And Chief, I'd like to ask you about community engagement. When it comes to executing a project like this or any other project for the matter, Deborah has talked about community engagement, how important and how key it is. But I'd like to ask you, as a member of the Council of Chiefs yourself, in this community, how important is community engagement to the success of any project?
Thank you. The importance. One, in short, without we, the community, helping them, they would have found things very difficult. So the community now engage almost everything with them, where the community can help. The community now engage with them to transport these things from our bus to their site, to the community, then carry these things to their sites. Almost everything we did that, the community helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that now brought the establishment and direction of this company, of the site, to its standard. So the community really helped.
All right, fantastic. Now, Deborah, we have to wrap this up shortly. I know that this means a lot for Ceesolar as a business. I mean, you are a business, so I'm sure it's part of this broad smile on your face right now. It's not just that you're happy that the Oweikorogha community has power and Chief and Co can drink cold beer, but I'm sure you're also happy because Ceesolar is also smiling to the bank now as well. So, what do you have to say to AllOn for developing this initiative and bringing Ceesolar on? And like I said, it's a bigger, wider project encompassing all of the Niger-Delta. So what do you have to say regarding this initiative as conceptualized by AllOn?
Okay, I will say thank you to AllOn for being able to fund this project and also this initiative for us, and also for the wider look, we being able to bring more solutions. That means being able to close the energy gap in the nation.
Right, Chief. I'm sure once again, as you mentioned before, the people of Oweikorogha community are very excited right now, and the people or the company that's putting the money that put the money down for this is called AllOn. I'm sure you've heard of AllOn already. First, two questions or two things. Once again, how do the people of Oweikorogha community feel now? And two, what would you like to say on behalf of your people to AllOn who has funded this project?
One, the people of Oweikorogha, we are happy and even happier for the introduction of this light, the solar light. Then, about AllOn, we should thank them. God bless them. God should improve their standard of thinking and everything. God should guide them for what they've done. Oweikorogha people thank them.
And that's it for this edition of Canvas, the Niger-Delta Roundtable, brought to you by SPDC. We've been discussing a milestone project in Oweikorogha community in southern Ijo local government area of Bayelsa State, a major power project executed by Ceesolar Energy Limited, sponsored bankrolled by AllOn. And I've had the pleasure of speaking with Chief Wayas, a member of the Council of Chiefs in Oweikorogha community. Chief, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Congratulations to you and members of your community, and I wish you the very best.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And hopefully someday I can visit and we can share a cold beer together.
Very well. We expect you.
with some Gari and native soup
No, wahala.
and bushmeat. Deborah Nwobodo is with Ceesolar Energy Limited. Thank you for your time as well and the great work you did in that community. But that's a wrap. And as we mentioned here, community engagement, stakeholder engagement is key to the implementation of any project. Certainly, AllOn understands this and is still in the forefront of powering on the Niger-Delta. I'm Adedayo Olushapin. Thanks for watching and listening to this edition of Canvas the Niger-Delta Roundtable. Do have a pleasant rest of your day.